Today we're talking about toys that you can use to help your baby to start crawling. So if your baby is like this one here and baby is struggling to get up on their hands and knees, baby does not crawl, baby barely moves around on their tummy, baby is not even commando crawling properly, then this video is for you, this live is for you. Because today I'm going to show you the toys that I use that actually help baby to start moving forward and actually be motivated to get up on those hands and knees. Now, in order for your baby to actually start crawling, your baby needs to be doing 3 different things. 1, your baby needs to be motivated to move, to go after something. The second thing your baby needs is your baby needs to be able to shift their body weight from one arm to the next and from one leg to the next. It's called weight shifting. And of course, your baby has to have the overall body strength to be able to maintain that hands and knees position and be able to propel themselves forward. So if any one of these 3 things are not there, then you wind up having a baby that's sluggish to move and doesn't really want to go after the toys or the things that you are trying to use as motivation to get your baby going. If you're new to the channel, my name is Cherrick Gordon. I've been a pediatric physical therapist for well over 2 decades. I show proactive parents like you how to use simple touch and movement to help your baby catch up and move ahead, catch up with those milestones and start making some forward progress. Now, before I get into today's toys and today's toy recommendations, I want to share with you a quick download PDF that I created. It's a free PDF. It just has all the milestones that your baby will go through from 0 to 12 months. I'm going to put it in the description. Click on it, download it to your computer, print it out, put it on your refrigerator so that you have it there as a reference and know when your baby's on track and when to reach out for some help if you need it. So now let's go ahead and talk about what kind of things baby needs to be able to do in order to start crawling and what kind of toys I use to be able to facilitate that. So the first toy I want to show you is actually not that one. It's this one here where baby is doing what's called commando crawling. Commando crawling is simply baby on their tummy and baby's kind of dragging themselves around on their tummy. They're not up on hands and knees yet. I find that a light up toy like this one here is a great toy to motivate your little one to start moving forward and go ahead and start just kind of clawing their way forward, trying to get to the toy. And what I like to do is bend one of baby's knees or both knees at the same time and just put my hands under baby's leg so that baby has something to push off of. I find that using something like this toy to motivate baby gives baby the incentive to actually start trying to move forward. And so I feel like that's a good place to start where baby needs to develop that strength to be able to just drag themselves on the ground. Now, you'll notice this baby here, I'm not pushing him too much. I'm letting him take a break if he needs to. And you can see he stopped. He put his head down. He took a little bit of a breather, and then he got back up and went right after the toy again. This is something that happens a lot when you're first trying to get your baby going. And so I don't want parents to get frustrated if their baby needs to stop from time to time as they're doing these exercises and these activities. So that's a good way to get your baby started just moving around in commando crawling. Now, once your baby is up on their knees and you're able to get your baby to start moving and shifting their weight up on hands and knees, this toy, I like to use this one to get baby to maintain this hands and knees position. Now, here's a reason I like this toy. This is for babies who really hate being on their hands and knees. And the reason I like this toy is because it allows me to bring babies' knees under their hips and have their hands higher than their knees. This is perfect for a baby who really does not have a lot of hand strength, that is not able to bear their full body weight on their hands. And so it's a great toy to just put your baby in this position. You're working from what's called the short kneeling position to tall kneeling. Short kneeling is, of course, when baby's buttocks are back on his heels. Tall kneeling is when baby moves up. And this is a great way for you to start training your baby to just get those knees under the hips. And you can see I'm just letting him kind of hang out and get used to this position where he has his hands on the piano and he is up and doing kind of a modified version of being on his hands and knees, where he's not down on full all fours just yet. And this is a good way to get him to start moving and taking his body weight in this position. So that is one of my favorite toys that I like to use. Now, some babies do what's called a bum shuffle crawl, where baby doesn't really crawl, they kind of scoot on their bottom. And so these babies typically have low muscle tone, they don't like the hands and knees position, and they kind of just cheat by scooting around on their bottom. And so especially as they get older, it becomes kind of challenging to get babies who have figured out a way to move like this to get on their hands and knees. And so, especially if baby is older, let's say baby is above a year and a half, 2 years old, then they've gotten kind of used to moving in their own way of moving, where they're scooting around on their bottom. And so they don't really want to change that and go ahead and crawl on their hands and knees. And so parents wind up finding it quite a struggle to get a baby like this that's gotten used to moving around in this way to actually go up on hands and knees and crawl in a traditional hands and knees way. And so what I like to do is use a crawling tunnel. And so I'll have baby crawling into the tunnel to get a toy. And what I typically do is I don't force baby to go after the toy. I just find a toy that I know baby is interested in. I toss the blocks into the tunnel, and now you can see that she is kind of motivated to go after it and do it on her own. And so this is a way that I like to trick babies into crawling. And I like to use this even for babies who are older and bigger, to where you would not, I can't really force them to crawl, but you can use this tunnel as a way of motivating them to go ahead and get into the tunnel and crawl on hands and knees. This is still a good activity for babies who are even beyond 3 years old to go ahead and get some crawling activity done, because it's never too late to go back and have your baby do some crawling. So that is another way that I like to have a baby crawl through a tunnel and be able to get some hands and knees work as baby crawls through the tunnel. And you can sit there and play this game going back and forth through the tunnel until baby gets tired by simply tossing toys into the tunnel and then cueing baby to go into the tunnel to go get the toy. And so this is one way that I use for this baby. If you look at her, you can see that she has some pretty low muscle tone. She really did not like the hands and knees position. I showed you that video of her doing her little bum shuffle, and she really did not like crawling on her hands and knees. And this was one of the only ways that I found that actually worked for her to get her to crawl on her hands and knees, even if it's for a short period of time. So that's another toy that I like to use to get baby to get on their hands and knees. Now, I like to use any kind of a pop-up toy when I'm teaching baby to crawl on hands and knees, where I'm focusing more on the weight shifting aspect of it rather than doing a typical hands and knees crawl. And so what I will do is have a simple little pop-up toy like this one and just have baby putting the pieces down and then go ahead and You can see I'm helping him with his knees, getting his knees under his body, and I'm using the toy. Notice how much support I'm giving him under his trunk, and I'm just cueing him to shift his body weight, bear some weight on one arm while he is reaching for the toy with the other hand. And of course, what we do with one side, we want to do with the other side. And so you can see him shifting his body weight onto his other arm as he is reaching for the toy. And this is a great way to go ahead and focus and distract him to do some weight shifting with this type of activity, and get some weight shifting through his hands and through his legs. This is a simple toy and it doesn't cost a whole lot, but I really like it for this activity in terms of just getting baby to shift their body weight from one side to the other as baby is playing. This is a fantastic way to work on getting baby to start actually believing that they can crawl and they can have a good time up on their hands and knees, especially for babies who really do not like being up on their hands and knees. You notice the way that left arm kind of collapsed there just a little bit as he went down almost onto his forearm, and then he readjusted and came back up. So I like this toy for this reason. It's just a good way to get baby to shift their body weight from one side to the next. So those are a couple of toys that I like to use for babies who I'm working on getting up on their hands and knees and working on crawling. I've been getting a lot of different questions, but of course, I always love more questions because it means that I'm going to make more videos. And so if you have a specific question, drop it in the comments below. Let me know if one of these toys is working for you. If it's not, I can suggest some alternative toys. Let me know what type of activities your baby is struggling with, and I will definitely make a video for you. All right, I will talk to you in the next live, my friends. Have a good evening. Bye-bye. Let's see if we have any comments or anybody in